So, folks, welcome to Tavern Chat. Over my left shoulder, if you're looking on that virtual table behind me, my not so virtual kitty cat keeps on appearing because she's laying on top of the cable box, and that's where that cable box would be if I wasn't doing the virtual table. So maybe maybe we'll show that. There you go. There you see. Over my shoulder is my kitty. Oh, look at that. For some strange reason, it left part. Oh, I guess my chair is my virtual. I couldn't tell you. I don't know why. My chair has a green backing. Look at that. I'm already off script. Folks, if you listen to this as a podcast, I apologize. You're not getting a visual on this one, but it's kind of silly, stupid. So I guess I have to go back to the prior because otherwise it looks silly, stupid. So I was thinking today, and I do think on occasions, and there are ref books and there are game master books. A lot of us call them DM guides, or you're a DM, right? So people are game masters or GMs or DMs. Some people are refs. And I know we use the terms interchangeably sometimes, but I think, and this is not, maybe it's me partially talking out of my ass, but I think there's a different mindset between the two. Okay. And just hear me out, and if you disagree, you can leave a voicemail, 347-509-5168. Or if you're listening via the Anchor app for the podcast, you can leave it via the Anchor app. But here's my thoughts. As a ref, okay, you are not necessarily going to be an expert of the rules. I mean, look at DCC, Dungeon Crawl Classics RPG, right? They refer to them as refs. If you're running the game, you're the ref. And why are you the ref? What does a ref do? Right? A ref interprets the rules and enforces the rules. If you are watching a sports game, you have umpires and refs, right? And that's what their job is. Their job isn't really to make up a new decision based upon nothing. They make the best decision they can make based upon circumstances in front of them, based upon the established rules and their interpretation of such. So they referee. Also, a referee, by its very terminology, is a more neutral position to be taking. If you're a referee, you're not supposed to be taking a side. You're supposed to be abdicating the rules, almost like, I don't want to say like a judge, but in a way you are. Some people call them judges, right? Actually, DCC calls them judges. Oh yeah. The podcast, Judge Jim, bam, smack me in the fucking head. So there's a difference though between that ref and judge aspect, right? Because you are abdicating the rules, you are making decisions on the rules, but you are supposed to be neutral. You aren't supposed to be influenced. So you shouldn't be abdicating the situation based upon what you feel will tell the story best. You should be making decisions based upon the roll of the dice and the interpretation of the rules, how it best lays that out. I see a game master or a dungeon master. Your position is to facilitate play. It's a different role, and there's a lot of intermingling and overlapping. And like I said, a lot of times we can use different terms to mean the same thing. But I see a game master more as somebody that is less neutral. And I'm not saying you should be adversarial, but I think a game master is there more to help the players drive the play the difference, right? It's like a ref is almost like I'm presenting everything, and I am going to stand back and let this play out as it will. Whereas a game master might take more of an active hand in the direction of where things are going. And I could be totally spitballing this out of my ass. And it could just be that these are different styles of running an RPG session, right? There are game masters or refs or judges that are very much of let the dice fall as they may. And if TPK comes and it's, 10 minutes into that session, so be it. And then you also have the game masters or the refs that are of the mindset of we're all here to have a good time. And yes, the dice are important. And yes, player agency is paramount. But at the same time, I want to make sure that my group has a good time. So how can I make this more entertaining? Is that TPK at this point in the session really what they need? Is it better if I leave an option where if they pick up on it, they can retreat and it won't be a TPK? Maybe so. So to me, this goes back to the whole interpretation of what does the OSR mean and what does the OSR entail? I'm not going to go into that. But I, again, see refs as more neutral and not adversarial, but some players might see it as adversarial because you aren't going to get hints or help or friendly dice rolls from somebody that I would term as a ref or a judge, whereas a game master or a DM might swing things a little bit on the side of what makes the session more enjoyable. I'm not saying what makes for a better story. No. In neither case I'm saying that. I'm saying what makes for a better game session. What is going to keep my players more involved. Both require a good knowledge of the rules, but I think the game master is more willing to fudge and make rulings and stuff they don't know, whereas somebody who's a ref or a judge is going to take the time out to look up those rules and say, okay, well, here we are on page 87 of the DMG. We have this spells out exactly what's happening here. Whereas the game master might go, all right, I'm going to make a ruling. This is how it's going to play out. And if I'm wrong, we can figure out how to, fix it or leave it as it is. I think that my ruling is fair. So I guess it's the difference between going to court and going to binding arbitration. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But I do find these terms to be very interesting because just by, even if we use them interchangeably, the pure definition of what a ref or a judge is, right? Judge makes rulings. And they make rulings that are not based upon what feels good. They make or what play, well, this is going to make people feel better. That theoretically, their rulings are based upon precedent and what the law says, right? And I would say a ref is interpreting rules, certainly, but they have to stick within the rules because in that kind of a situation, you're playing sports. You want the same call being made in the same situation, following the rules. That's why you have a ref. So like I said, game masters to me, I think that term or dungeon master leaves a little bit more leeway for I don't want to. I'm very loath to say words like ignore dice rolls and shit like that. But yeah, maybe ignore a roll that will, especially. And here's the thing: what do I think works better at a home table or at a convention, right? At a home table, I think for most groups, you'd want a game master. I would say that at a convention, you would want a ref or a judge, but you would also want someone who maybe is a bit more of what I would define as a game master, at least for that first hour of play, because you want to get some of your money's worth for the session. I know I'm saying heretical stuff to some people, and they're like, "Oh my god, you can't say fudge." All right, well, I said fudge. I could have said shit, but I didn't. But you know what I'm saying. Well, folks, I'd like to hear your feedback. Also, you can email tankarstavern@gmail.com. If you are enjoying these daily casts, subscribe if you're listening to the podcast. If you're listening to the vidcast, you're watching this, please hit the like button, subscribe. If you're listening and you want to help, you can subscribe at youtube.com/Eric Tenkar. It really, really does help. We've been seeing a great increase in not only subscribers, but in participation in our live chats, and that has been awesome. It really does help drive the conversation. Folks, we're in the midst of the pandemic. It may be where you are gearing up for, I don't know, the third wave, the fourth wave, whatever wave. I have my 2 COVID shots. I'm coming up on 3 weeks after my last shot, so I am fully inoculated. I'm happy with that situation, but I'm not telling you what to do. Your situation is different than mine. I had 4 comorbidities, so yes, please sign me up. Yesterday was Easter. We actually got to have one of those cousins over because she was fully inoculated, family friend over because she was fully inoculated, and my sister and brother-in-law and my niece Shannon, who's 10, were not inoculated. However, since everybody else was, there was no risk. All right, so that worked for us. I hope that your holiday weekend, if you were celebrating the holidays, was a healthy, happy one. For us, I know it certainly felt more like 2019, because 2020 is a year I just want to fucking wipe off the calendar. Be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice. And God willing, knock on wood, I will be back again tomorrow. Later, folks.